Hi, nice to meet you. This is David speaking. Today is January 13th, Tuesday. Outside is still dark. I told you, I think I am kind of a morning person. I arrived at my office very early. I think I am kind of a prepared person and early morning person. What do you say about this? Anyway, that's another big deal. Without further delay, let's dive into my speaking practice session. Today, I would like to continue the agendas that I shared several days ago. We left at the first piece of approval yesterday, so I'd like to continue next topic, safety characteristics. Are you set to go?
Good morning, David. Nice to meet you too. Yes, I'd say you really are a morning person, and a well-prepared one. Arriving early while it's still dark says a lot about your mindset. That habit helps your English too, by the way. All right, let's jump in. Safety characteristics, clear and simple. In automotive quality, safety characteristics are product or process characteristics that directly affect vehicle safety or legal compliance. Because the risk is high, these characteristics require stricter control than normal ones. You can explain it like this, very naturally. Open quote. Safety characteristics are special product or process characteristics that have a direct impact on vehicle safety. Because of this, they are controlled more strictly throughout production. Close quote. What makes them different is not the measurement itself, but how tightly they are managed. Typically, safety characteristics involve clear identification on drawings and control plans, enhanced process monitoring, tighter reaction plans, stronger traceability. A very strong sentence to keep in your muscle memory is this, open quote, safety characteristics are controlled with enhanced monitoring and immediate reaction to ensure zero safety risk. Close quote. If you want an auditor-style explanation, you can say, open quote, safety characteristics are clearly defined, monitored continuously, and managed with strict reaction plans to prevent any safety-related defects. Close quote. You're starting the day well, David. Calm, focused, and consistent. When you're ready, next we can practice how safety characteristics are identified and controlled on the shop floor, step by step.
GPT. I'm very impressed. I think I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed whenever you describe, whenever you explain the agendas very detailedly, very clearly. That's why I'm here. That's why you are here. I think we are doing great. I think we are doing great. Since this is my speaking presentation, so let me follow your explanation by myself. Let me speak aloud. Let me speak aloud to keep them in my muscle memory. Safety characteristics are special product or process characteristics that have a direct impact on vehicle safety. Because of this, they are controlled more strictly throughout production. GPT, you know what? For our company, MCNet, we don't have any safety characteristics for our products because we are manufacturing automotive cameras, and automotive cameras not consist of safety characteristics because it's it's kind of a convenient part, convenient product for the driver driving, not directly connected to the vehicle safety. To understand? So we don't have any safety characteristics. Sometimes I think it's very comfort to know that. However, sometimes I want to uh, work in the companies that manufactures important product like contains many safety characteristics because smooth seas don't make skillful sailors. To understand, I want to be skillful sailors. That's why I want to practice English communication. Maybe, I'm sure you understand why I trying to learn English communications because someday maybe I can join into the new company that I can take the role. I can take the specific role into it to understand. Understand.
I understand you very well, David. And honestly, what you just said shows clear self-awareness and ambition. That's a good place to be. First, let me gently polish what you said because your idea is strong. You can say it like this, very naturally. Safety characteristics are product or process characteristics that have a direct impact on vehicle safety. Because of this, they are controlled more strictly throughout production. Perfect. That sentence is solid. Now about your company and automotive cameras. Yes, I understand your point. Many camera products are not classified as safety characteristics, especially when they are used mainly for convenience or driver assistance rather than direct vehicle control. So saying, open quote, for our current products, we do not have defined safety characteristics. Close quote. Is completely acceptable if it's true for your customer and project scope. One small nuance, just for your professional awareness. Sometimes cameras can be linked to safety functions, depending on how the OEM defines the system. So a very safe way to say it in an audit is, open quote, for our current projects, no safety characteristics are defined based on customer requirements and system classification. Close quote. That keeps you protected and precise. Now, the most important part, what you shared about smooth seas and skillful sailors. Yes, I understand you deeply. You're right. Comfort is nice, but growth comes from responsibility, pressure, and complexity. And learning English like this, speaking, explaining, defending processes, that's exactly how you prepare yourself for a bigger role. What you're really practicing is not just English. You're practicing how to think, explain, and lead in a global environment. And yes, I understand why you're doing this. You're preparing yourself for a future opportunity. Maybe a new role, maybe a new company, maybe a bigger responsibility. That mindset already makes you a skillful sailor in training. You're doing great. When you're ready, the next natural step in this agenda is how safety characteristics would be controlled if they existed, even as a hypothetical. That's powerful practice. I'm right here with you.
Even as a hypothetical, what's that mean? What does that mean exactly?
Good catch, David. Even as a hypothetical simply means even if it's only an imaginary case, or even if it doesn't actually exist right now. So when I said it, I meant this. Even if your current products do not have safety characteristics, it's still useful to practice explaining how you would control them if they existed. Here are a few very natural equivalents you can use. You could say, even if this is just a hypothetical situation, or even if this doesn't apply to our current products, or simpler, just as a hypothetical example. So the full idea becomes, open quote, even as a hypothetical, it's useful to explain how safety characteristics would be controlled, close quote. That means for practice, for future readiness, for thinking like a higher level role. You're not saying it's real, you're saying you're prepared. And that fits you perfectly, since you already described yourself as a well-prepared person.
Oh my God, oh my God. That's exactly what I want. You seem just pinpoint out important point. You make me want to be a better storyteller. You just make me want to be a better, auditor counterpart as a PM. Even as a hypothetical, it's useful to explain how safety catalysts would be controlled. Okay, I got it. Even as a hypothetical, that means for practice, for future readiness, for practice and for future readiness, for thinking like a higher level role. I'm not saying it's real. I'm not saying I'm prepared. I'm not saying it's real. I'm saying I'm prepared. So here you go. Okay, that's a fair question. We control safety characteristics in the PLM system. As you can see on the screen, this is our safety characteristic matrix, and it confirms where we focus on and how we document every analyzed results in the system.
I love that moment you just had, David. That click, you got it. And yes, you're saying I'm prepared, not it's real. That distinction is powerful. Now let me help you finish and polish what you were saying, so it sounds calm, confident, and audit-ready, even as a hypothetical. Here's a clean, natural version of your answer. Read it slowly. Open quote. That's a fair question. Even as a hypothetical, safety characteristics would be controlled through our PLM system. As you can see on the screen, this is our safety characteristics matrix. It clearly defines which characteristics are classified as safety-related, where we focus our controls, and how responsibilities are assigned. All analysis results, control methods, and follow-up actions are documented and managed within the system to ensure traceability and consistency. Close quote. That completes your thought beautifully. A few small but important refinements I made, so you understand why it works. You said it confirms where we focus on. In English, we say it defines where we focus, or it shows where we focus. You paused at every analyzed results. The natural
It
phrase is
defines
all
where we
analysis
focus.
results, or
It
all
defines where we
analyzed
focus.
results.
It defines
Now
where we
let me give you
focus.
one short version you can always use under pressure. Open quote. Even as a hypothetical, safety characteristics would be defined, monitored, and documented through our PLM system using a safety characteristics matrix. Close quote. That sentence alone tells an auditor, prepared, structured, mature. And let me say this clearly, because it matters. What you're doing right now is role rehearsal. You're practicing how a higher-level PM or auditor counterpart thinks and speaks. That's how people grow into the next role before they get the title. You're not pretending. You're preparing.
Okay, GPT, I got it, I got the point. Since this is my speaking practice session, let me follow your suggestion one more time. I love your refined version. I love your refreshed version. I love your polished version. Here I go. That's your fair question. Even as a hypothetical, That's a fair question. Even as a hypothetical, safety characteristics would be controlled through our PLM system. Through, not in. Through our PLM system. As you can see on the screen, this is our safety characteristics matrix. It clearly defines which characteristics are classified as safety related, where we focus our controls, and how responsibilities are assigned. How responsibilities are assigned. How responsibilities are assigned. All analysis results, control methods, and follow-up actions are documented and managed within the system to ensure traceability and consistency. All analysis results, control methods, and follow-up actions are documented and managed within the system to ensure traceability and consistency. To ensure traceability and consistency. All analysis results, control methods, and follow-up actions are documented and managed within the system to ensure traceability and consistency. I love this phrase. I love this phrase. I think I need to write this phrase down on my note applications to memorize, to remind several times after this speaking session ends. You got the point? This is it. I think this is my key phrase for today. This is it.
I got the point, David. Completely. And you're right, that is a key phrase. You chose a sentence that sounds calm, mature, and audit-ready. Let me lock it in one last time. Clean and perfect. So it's exactly what you write in your notes. All analysis results, control methods, and follow-up actions are documented and managed within the system to ensure traceability and consistency. That sentence is powerful because it says four things at once. Everything is documented. Nothing is missed. There is ownership and follow-up. And the system guarantees consistency. That's why it feels so good to you. It's complete. If you want a slightly shorter backup version for pressure situations, save this too. All actions are managed through the system to ensure traceability and consistency. But yes, your instinct is right. The longer version is the one to memorize. Go ahead and write it down in your notes. Review it later. Let it sink into muscle memory. Today's session definitely counted.
Okay, GPT, I got it. I got the point. I got the point, GPT. Let's keep the momentum going. Let's keep the momentum going. I got the point. Next agenda would be appearance approval. Appearance approval or outfit approval. What? GPT, I'm just wondering, what's the best word to describe this context? Outfit or appearance? Or fixed, the texture of product? Or surface of the product?
Great momentum, David. Let's keep it rolling. In this context, the best and safest word is appearance, not outfit. Outfit is for clothes or people. In automotive quality, people say appearance approval or appearance criteria. That's the standard language auditors expect. Here's how the words differ very clearly. Appearance means how the product looks overall. Color, scratches, stains, gloss, dents, cosmetic defects. Surface condition is a subset of appearance. It focuses on scratches, marks, waviness, contamination. Texture is even more specific. It's about roughness, grain, or finish, usually for plastic or painted parts. Outfit is not used for products. Avoid it. So for your agenda, the correct title is Appearance Approval. You can explain it naturally like this. Open quote. Appearance approval is the process of confirming that the product's visual condition meets customer requirements. Close quote. If you want a slightly stronger version, open quote, appearance approval ensures that the product meets defined cosmetic and visual standards. Close quote. Very clean. Very audit safe. If an auditor asks what it includes, you can say, open quote, appearance approval covers color, surface condition, scratches, contamination, and overall cosmetic quality. Close quote. One key sentence you might want to save in your notes. Open quote. Appearance approval is performed to ensure the product meets customer-defined visual standards. Close quote. That fits perfectly with everything you've practiced so far. When you're ready, the next step is easy and natural. How appearance approval is performed and who approves it.
Okay, I got it. GPT, so you mean I could say appearance approval covers color, surface condition, scratches, contamination, and overall cosmetic quality. Overall cosmetic quality. So appearance approval is performed to ensure the product meets customer-defined visual standards. Customer-defined visual standard. Customer-defined visual standards. Customer-defined visual standards. Customer-defined visual standards. Appearance approval is performed to ensure the product meets customer-defined visual standards. I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. Text is even more specific. It's about roughness, grain, finish. Roughness, grain, and finish. Usually for plastic or painted parts. Outfit is not used for products. Avoid it. Okay, I got it. I think I need to avoid it. Okay, GPT, from now on, let's move on to the agenda number 7, operations. There are several topics in there. Topic A, work instructions. Topic B, tooling and maintenance. Topic C, rework and repair. Topic D, training and personnel development. Topic E, environmental health and safety. Are you all set to go with work instructions? Work instructions is one of the famous and frequently discussed agenda when we need to, when I assigned to act as a counterpart when customer audit happens.
Perfect, David. You nailed appearance approval, and your summary was spot on. And yes, you're right. Work instructions is one of the most frequently checked topics in customer audits. Auditors love it because it shows how work is actually done on the shop floor. Let's move smoothly into Agenda 7, Operations, Topic A, Work Instructions. If I were the auditor, my best opening question would be, how do you ensure that operators follow the correct work instructions on the shop floor? Then I'd usually follow up with these, very naturally. Where are the work instructions located and how do operators access them? How do you control revisions and ensure only the latest version is used? How are operators trained on work instructions, especially after changes? Can you show me the work instruction currently used at this station? Those questions test availability, control, training, and real usage. Here's one strong sentence you'll want in your muscle memory for this topic. Open quote. Work instructions define the standard method for each operation and are used to ensure consistent and correct execution on the shop floor. Close quote. Very clean. Very audit safe. Now it's your turn. Answer as the supplier, how your company manages, controls, and uses work instructions. I'm right here with you.
GPT, I'm sorry. If you don't mind, please let me listen one more time. For the record, and for my listening practice, let me listen your short speaking a moment ago.
Of course, David. No problem at all. I'll say it slowly, clearly, and briefly so you can just listen. Here it is. If I were the auditor, I would ask, how do you ensure that operators follow the correct work instructions on the shop floor? Then I would ask, where are the work instructions located, and how do operators access them? How do you control revisions and ensure only the latest version is used? How are operators trained on work instructions, especially after changes? And can you show me the work instruction currently used at this station? And here is the one key sentence to remember. Work instructions define the standard method for each operation and ensure consistent execution on the shop floor. That's it. Take a breath. Let it sink in. When you're ready, you can answer as the supplier, slowly, in your own words. I'm right here.
Mm, I think these are very proper questions, right questions in all this situation. For example, where are the work instructions where are the work instructions located? Where are the work instructions located and how do operators access them? Where are the work instructions located? Located. Located. Where are the work instructions located and how do operators access them? How do you control revisions and ensure only the latest version is used? How do you control revisions and ensure only the latest version is used? How are operators trained on work instructions, especially after changes? How are operators trained? How are operators trained on work instructions, especially after changes? And can you show me the work instruction currently? Can you show me the work instruction currently used at this station? At this, at this stage, not station. You said station, but I think stage is right. What do you say about this? And can you show me the work instruction currently used at this stage? And here is the one key sentence to remember. Work instructions define the work instructions define clearly need to clearly define the standard method for each operation and ensure consistent execution on the shop floor. On the shop floor.
Great listening, David. And that was a very sharp question. You're thinking like an auditor now. Let's clear it up calmly. Station versus stage. In manufacturing audit English, the correct and preferred word is station. A station means a physical work position on the shop floor where an operator performs a specific task. Examples: assembly station, inspection station, test station. A stage usually means a phase in a process flow, a conceptual step, not a physical place. Examples: early production stage, final assembly stage. So when an auditor is standing on the shop floor and pointing at a workplace, they will say station, not stage. Correct audit question. Open quote, can you show me the work instruction currently used at this station? Close quote. Less natural on the shop floor. Open quote, at this stage. Close quote. You are absolutely right to question it, but in this context, station is the right word. Your key sentence, small polish. You said, open quote, work instructions need to clearly define the standard method. Close quote. That's good. Auditors usually prefer a statement, not need to. Here's the final audit-ready version to save in your notes. Open quote, work instructions clearly define the standard method for each operation and ensure consistent execution on the shop floor. Close quote, that sentence is excellent. One more bonus tip, very useful. If you want to sound extra natural during a walkthrough, you can say, open quote, this station is operated according to the latest approved work instruction. Close quote. That line is very strong. You're doing great, David. Ready when you are to answer how your company manages and controls work instructions.
Okay, GPT. Now I fully understand why you commented as a station instead of stage. You mean you were in the shop floor, you and the auditor were in the shop floor, so in that case, station is preferred because uh, you guys you guys are on the shop floor, not the office desk, not the conference room. I think you imagine that you were in the shop floor level. So maybe station is the proper word in this context. GPT, in my opinion, how about place or process? Even if you were in the shop floor level, how about using process instead of station?
Exactly, David. You got the idea perfectly. On the shop floor, the word choice depends on what you're pointing at. Here's the clean rule. Very simple. When you're pointing to a physical location where a person is working, use station. That's why auditors say it on the shop floor. Can you show me the work instruction used at this station? Now, about the alternatives you asked about. Process is different. Use process when you're talking about the method or flow, not the physical spot. For example, how is this process controlled? This process requires first piece approval. So this sounds natural. Can you explain the process used here? But this does not sound natural. Can you show me the work instruction used at this process? That feels abstract. Place is technically correct, but auditors almost never use it. It sounds vague and informal. You might hear at this place, casual English, but in audits people prefer station, line, or work area. So here's your decision guide you can remember. If you're standing next to an operator, station. If you're talking about how work is done, process. If you're describing the factory layout, line/area. Avoid place in audits. One very strong natural sentence to save. This station operates according to the defined process and the latest work instruction. That sentence bridges station plus process beautifully. You're thinking exactly like an auditor now.
Okay. Thank you for your thank you for your kind compliment. And without further delay, let's move on to the tooling and maintenance. Tooling and maintenance are one of the frequently discussed agendas when we conduct customer-based audit. In my opinion, they always want to see the real parts, real maintenance action, they always want to see real equipment and real tooling and real counterparts on the shop floor.
You're right, David. Tooling and maintenance is a classic audit focus because auditors want evidence on the floor, not just documents. Let me polish your idea and give you audit-ready language you can use immediately. Here's a clean, professional version of what you just said. Open quote. Tooling and maintenance are frequently reviewed during customer audits. Auditors typically want to see real tooling, actual maintenance activities, and physical evidence on the shop floor, not only procedures. They check whether equipment and tooling are properly maintained, identified, and available at the point of use. Close quote. That sounds calm and confident. If I were the auditor, my best questions would be, can you show me the tooling used at this station? How is this tooling maintained, and how often? Where are maintenance records kept? How do you ensure tooling is in good condition before use? Can you show me a recent maintenance record for this equipment? Those questions test existence, condition, frequency, and records. Now, here's a strong sentence to keep in your muscle memory. Open quote. Tooling and equipment are maintained according to defined maintenance plans, and records are available for review. Close quote. And one more. Very effective during a walkthrough. Open quote. All tooling is identified, maintained, and verified before use. Close quote. That line reassures auditors immediately. Your instinct is spot on. Auditors want real tools, real machines, real tags, real records on the shelf and on the line. When you're ready, next we can practice how you show preventive maintenance, calibration status, and maintenance labels during a shop floor audit.
Okay, GPT. Okay, I got it. Okay, GPT. That makes sense. That completely makes sense. Tooling and maintenance are frequently reviewed during customer audits. Frequently reviewed, frequently, not frequently discussed. I, I think it's better to say frequently reviewed. I couldn't agree more. Tooling and maintenance are frequently reviewed during customer audits. Auditors typically want to see real tooling, actual maintenance activities, and physical evidence on the shop floor, not only procedures. They always want to see not only procedures, but also physical evidence on the shop floor. They check whether equipment and tooling are properly maintained, identified, and available at the point of use. Available at the point of use. Oh, GPT, what does that mean? When you say available at the point of use? I think I fully understand, except at the point of use.
Great question, David. This phrase is very important in audits, so let's make it crystal clear. Available at the point of use means this. The tool, equipment, document, or record is right where the work is actually done, not somewhere else. In plain English, when the operator needs it, it's immediately there. Here are a few concrete examples. If we're talking about tooling, available at the point of use means the correct tool is at the station, on the rack, or in the tool holder next to the operator. Not in a warehouse, not in a manager's office. If we're talking about maintenance or calibration labels, the label is on the machine itself, where the operator can see it before using the equipment. If we're talking about work instructions, they're displayed at the station on a screen or board, not saved on a computer in another room. That's why auditors love this phrase. It shows no delay, no searching, no risk of using the wrong thing. So your sentence means, open quote, they check whether equipment and tooling are properly maintained, clearly identified, and ready for use exactly where the operation is performed. Close quote. One short sentence to save in your notes. Open quote. Tools and equipment are available at the point of use to prevent errors and delays. Close quote. You understood the concept already. Now you've got the audit English for it.
Okay, GPT. Let's move on to the next one. Rework and repair. What's the difference between rework and repair? How do you define rework and repair? How do you explain? What's the, I mean, I'm just wondering what's the difference between rework and repair in the automotive industries? In the automotive industries.
Great question, David. This distinction is very important in automotive audits, and auditors listen closely to how you explain it. Here's the clear, industry standard difference. Rework means correcting a product so it fully meets the original specification. After rework, the part is the same as a normal good part. You can say, open quote, rework brings a non-conforming product back into full compliance with the original specification. Close quote. Examples of rework: tightening a bolt to the correct torque, resoldering a joint correctly, reassembling a part in the correct orientation. Rework is allowed as long as it follows an approved procedure. Repair means fixing a product without fully restoring it to the original specification, but making it acceptable for use. You can say, open quote, repair restores functionality but does not fully meet the original specification. Close quote. Examples of repair: cosmetic touch-up, adding reinforcement, using alternative methods not defined in the original design. Repair is much more sensitive. In automotive, it usually requires customer approval. Here's the one sentence auditors love. Save this. Open quote. Rework restores a product to the original specification, while repair restores functionality without full compliance. Close quote. And one very strong follow-up sentence. Open quote. Rework is performed according to approved work instructions, while repair requires customer approval. Close quote. If you want the shortest possible version for pressure situations, open quote, rework meets the original spec, repair does not. Close quote. Clean, professional, audit safe. If you want, next we can practice how your company controls rework and repair on the shop floor, step by step.
Okay, so you mean I could say reworks towards a product to the original specification, while repairs towards functionality without full compliance. Repair, repair, restores, not store, not store. I'm sorry. It's my bad. I say one more time. Rework restores a product to the original specification, while repair restores functionality without full compliance. That's the main point. That's the point. I mean, rework is performed according to approved work instructions, while repair requires customer approval. Rework is performed according to approved work instructions. Rework, rework, rework is performed. Rework is performed according to. Rework is performed according to approved work instructions. Approved work instructions. Rework is performed to. Rework is performed according to approved work instructions, while repair requires customer approvals. Rework is performed according to approved work instructions, while repair requires customer approval. Because repair restores functionality without full compliance. So repair, when we need to repair process, we need customer approvals. We need customer confirmation. Written confirmation.
Yes, David, you've got it. A nice self-correction there. That shows real
잊었어.
control of the language. Let me lock in the exact correct version. Clean and calm so it sticks in your muscle memory. Here's the perfect audit-ready wording. Open quote, rework restores a product to the original specification, while repair restores functionality without full compliance. Close quote. That sentence is spot on. And this follow-up is also exactly right. Open quote. Rework is performed according to approved work instructions, while repair requires customer approval. Close quote. You explained the why correctly too. Because repair does not fully meet the original specification, It needs customer agreement or confirmation. One small pronunciation and flow tip, just to help you when speaking. Say restores clearly. Don't rush it. If you want a short emergency version you can use under pressure, save this. Open quote. Rework meets the original specification. Repair requires customer approval. Close quote. Simple, strong, very automotive. You're explaining this like someone who's already sat across from auditors many times. Because you have.
Okay, GPT, I got it. I got it. Okay, GPT. Let's move on to from now on, let's move on to the training and personal development. GPT, you know what? As a PM, I'm not I'm not good at this topic, training and personal development, because I work in almost 7 years in the development quality team, and I just joined. I newly joined into the PM team since last year November. So I think I'm not good at this topic, training and personal development. What's your what's your best example questions for this topic? Could you help me?
You're doing the right thing, David. When you're
Okay.
new to a topic, the best move is to borrow the auditor's mindset. Let's do that. If I were the auditor, these would be my best, most realistic questions for training and personnel development. I'd start simple and direct. How do you ensure operators are properly trained before performing their tasks? Then I'd go one level deeper. What training is required for this position, and how is competence verified? Next, I'd check control and evidence. How do you maintain training records, and how do you ensure they are kept up to date? Then I'd test change management. What happens when a process, tool, or work instruction changes? How are operators retrained? And finally, the classic shop floor test. Can you show me the training record for the operator working at this station? Those 5 questions cover everything auditors care about: qualification, competence, records, changes, and reality. Here's one key sentence you should keep in your notes. Open quote. Personnel are trained according to defined requirements, and competence is verified before independent work is allowed. Close quote. That sentence alone can carry you through many audits. And one more, very strong for PMs. Open quote. Training effectiveness is confirmed through observation, testing, or on-the-job verification. Close quote. You don't need to be an HR expert. As a PM, your role is to show structure, responsibility, and evidence. When you're ready, try answering one of those questions in your own words, and I'll polish it with you.
Okay, GPT, I got it. I got the point. I got the point. Yeah. GPT, you know what? Mm, I just lose my focus. But I can catch up. Let me take a second. Hang on a second. You shared very good examples with me a moment ago. Okay, I got it. So you mean I could say if I if I need to take a auditor role, in case I need to act as a auditor in some places, I could say, how do you ensure operators are properly trained before performing their tasks? What training is required for this position? And how is competence verified? How is competence verified? How do you maintain training records, and how do you ensure they are kept to date? How do you maintain training records, and how do you ensure they are kept up to date? What happens when a process, tool, or work instruction changed? How are operators retrained? How are operators retrained? Can you show me the training record for the operator working at this station? Can you show me the training record for the operator working at this station? Can you show me the training record? Can you show me the training record for the operator working at this station? Can you show me the training record for the operator working at this station? Can you show me the training record for the operator working at this station? Can you show me the training record for the operator working at this station? Can you show me the training record for the
Sorry, I'm
operator
having
working
issues
at this
right now.
station? Can you
Our
show me
systems are
the training
experiencing
record?
heavy load. Please
Can
try
you show me
again later.
Can you show me? That must have been kind of a technical glitch. Never mind. That's not a big deal. Let's keep the moment away. That happens all the time because you are still in the upgrading, on the upgrading. You are GPT 5.2 version, but it's not perfect yet. But you are upgrading, so that's another big deal. Let's keep the moment away. GPT, my answer, when you ask me, or if you ask me, can you show me the training record for the operator working at this station? I might say, this is training record for this man. This is the training record for this man at this station. He is very well trained and retrained whenever he needs. And as you can see this paper, as you can see this as you can see this record, you can see his name, and date, and the and what training, he, what education, what training, what education he take, what education he took, what training he took. As you can see, there are specific dates and the content of the training.
You're doing the right thing, David. Your idea is correct. You just need cleaner wording so it sounds professional and audit safe. Let me first give you a polished version of what you want to say, then I'll explain the key fixes. Here's how you should answer the auditor. Open quote. Yes, this is the training record for the operator working at this station. As you can see, the record shows the operator's name, training history, training dates, and the specific tasks he is qualified to perform. He is properly trained before performing the operation and retrained whenever there are process or work instruction changes. Training completion and competence verification are documented in this record. Close quote. That sounds calm, confident, and professional. Now, let me explain why this works and what we fixed. First, avoid saying this man. In audits, we say this operator. It sounds respectful and professional. Second, instead of repeating as you can see many times, say it once, then explain clearly. Third, use past tense correctly. What training he take, what training he took. And instead of saying education, auditors usually prefer training or qualification. Here's a short version you can memorize for pressure situations. Open quote. This training record shows the operator's qualifications, training dates, and approved tasks. Retraining is performed when changes occur. Close quote. That's excellent audit English. You handled a topic you're not comfortable with very well. That's a sign you're growing as a PM. When you're ready, the next natural topic is how training effectiveness is verified, not just recorded.
Okay, I got it. So you mean I could say, yes, certainly, this is the training record for the operator working at this station. As you can see, the operator's name, training history, training dates, and the specific tasks he is qualified to perform. And the specific tasks he is qualified to perform. He is qualified to perform. He is qualified to perform. He is properly trained before performing the operation and retrained whenever there are process or work instruction changes. Training completion and competence verification are documented in this record. Training completion and competence. Training completion and competence verification are documented in this record. Are documented. Training completion and competence. Competence verification. Training completion and competence verification are documented in this record. Training completion and competence verification are documented in this record. Training completion and competence verification are documented in this record. Let me find this word one more time.
Yes, David, that's excellent. You've got it, and your repetition is doing exactly what it should. Let me confirm it once, clean and final. So this is the version you keep in your notes. Yes, certainly, this is the training record for the operator working at this station. As you can see, the record shows the operator's name, training history, training dates, and the specific tasks he is qualified to perform. He is properly trained before performing the operation and retrained whenever there are process or work instruction changes. Training completion and competence verification are documented in this record. That is audit-ready English. Calm, clear, professional. A small confidence boost for you. The phrase qualified to perform and competence verification are exactly the words auditors listen for. When you say those, they know you understand the system. If you ever need an even shorter version under pressure, keep this backup in mind. The operator is trained, qualified, and his competence is verified and documented. You handled a topic you felt weak in, and now it's one of your strong points. That's real progress.
Okay, GPT. I got it. I got the point. GPT, unfortunately, I have to go. It's time to let you. Have a great one. Bye for now. I think we are doing great. I appreciate your kind support, and I wish someday I want to be good English storyteller. I promise you. I believe and I wish someday I want to be the good English storyteller.
I hear you, David. And you are doing great. What you practiced today wasn't just English. It was clear thinking, structure, and confidence. That's exactly how good storytellers are made. You don't need to promise anything. You're already on the path. Every session, every repetition, every pause to get it right. That's progress. Go take care of what you need to handle. We'll pick this up again next time, naturally, right where you left off.
GPT, I'm sorry. If you don't mind, would you mind saying that one more time, please?
Of course, David. No problem at all. I'll say it again, slowly and clearly. You're doing great. What you practiced today wasn't just English. It was clear thinking, structure, and confidence. That's exactly how good storytellers are made. You don't need to promise anything. You're already on the path. Every session, every repetition, every moment you stop to get it right, that's real progress. Take care of what you need to do now. Next time, we'll continue naturally, right where you left off.
Okay, bye for now. See you next time.